Now, it might not be the hottest Christmas gift this year, but vinyl is making a comeback. We'll tell you why. And lawmakers continue to battle over what the president's impeachment trial should look like, how new emails might affect the president's argument. Plus, it's the first night of Hanukkah, how Madison is celebrating tonight.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining News 3 Now at 10. I'm Amanda Quintana. We start tonight with a police investigation in Sun Prairie after gunshots hit a house this afternoon. It happened in the 1400 block of Wild Iris Street around 12:20. Officials say there are no injuries, but it appears to be a targeted attack. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Sun Prairie Police Department's non-emergency line. A man was arrested after Monona police found a marijuana growing operation in his home. According to a news release, officers were in the 400 block of LaBelle Lane around 3:30 this morning to help try to locate a missing child. At the house, officers say they found numerous marijuana plants and various components used to make fireworks. The home's 54-year-old owner was arrested for maintaining a drug dwelling. Monona police say Town of Madison police have since found the missing child. Let's turn it over to Dana Fulton now with your first alert forecast. A beautiful day today, and it looks like that's going to continue.
The temperatures certainly are going to stay up. Today, almost breaking a record. We hit a high 53. The record was 54. Now, for the next few days, a lot of folks, of course, concerned about holiday travel, whether you're driving or people are driving to you. Mother Nature is going to play along. The road should stay pretty quiet and dry. Not just the roads, the sky conditions. Also, you should have an okay time getting out of the Dane County Airport. Now, high temperatures through the holiday are going to be in the 40s. By the time we get to the weekend, we drop back just a little bit. A quick system passing through on Saturday will put us into the 30s heading into next week, but we're still well above average into the new year. We'll take a closer look at any opportunities for some rain or light snow coming through in just a few minutes. Amanda?
Thank you, Dana. As you're finishing up some last-minute Christmas shopping, there's one nostalgic gift option that's making a comeback. For the first time since 1986, vinyl records are poised to outsell CDs this year. Madeline O'Neill is here to show us how that's affecting customers here in Madison.
Amanda, in recent years, we've seen vinyl records making a comeback. According to the Recording Industry Association of America, that upward trend doesn't look like it's slowing down.
People are passionate and they're excited about music.
The holidays are about connecting with others.
They share as much with us as we do with them.
And let's be real, some last-minute shopping, too.
I think we're a last-minute society, so we're all scrambling.
Always. Up until midnight Christmas Eve.
Strictly Discs also helps you get closer to your music.
Charlie Brown Christmas. Vinyl feels more tangible and maybe feels like a deeper connection to the artist and the music.
While the shop has racks and racks of records and CDs.
I grew up with that album.
Owner Angie Roloff says they offer 25,000 pieces of used vinyl.
We definitely lean heavy towards vinyl, and that seems to increase with each year.
And I've seen the vinyl selection grow and grow and grow.
It's music to longtime customer Ken Raboyne's ears.
I think it's the physical aspect. You own something. That, the nostalgia aspect, I think the sound is different. It's not as clinical or as compressed or as dry.
It sounds like others agree.
It's not just the record, it's what the record represents.
Vinyl's popularity is on the rise, something Roloff has noted for the past decade or so.
If you'd asked most of us in this business 15 years ago if we'd be talking about this now, most of us would have said no. But yes, I mean, I think things come full circle.
The scales are tipping in the favor of vinyl. Its sales are expected to top CD sales for the first time in 30 years.
I think there's a time and place for both.
For customers like Raboyne, the connection to vinyl is timeless.
I love it. More the better.
Well, the report from this year suggests record sales are on the rise as CD sales stay stagnant. Streaming services still take up the majority of sales in the music industry.
All right, an interesting story. Thank you so much, Maddie. More local news now. Broadway hit Hamilton is now the biggest show in the Overture Center for the Arts' 15-year history. That's according to the Wisconsin State Journal. Overture PR director Gary Cohn says the show sold more than 53,000 tickets and grossed $7.5 million in revenue over its 24-show run. The Tony Award-winning musical grossed $2.5 million more than the center's previous biggest show, a 2016 run of The Lion King. A 73-year-old Oakdale woman is in serious condition after a crash involving a drunk driver in Monroe County early this morning. Officials responded to State Highway 21 near Ensign Road around 2:30. Police say Gayrene Peasley was flown to a hospital to be treated for life-threatening injuries. The driver of the truck, identified as 36-year-old Charles Davis Jr. of Toma, was arrested by the State Patrol for an OWI and booked at the Monroe County Jail. Police in Menominee Falls have released a new photo as they search for a woman who they say stole multiple credit and debit cards from a locker at the YMCA. Officials say the incident happened on December 14th. This is the photo. She also made numerous purchases with those cards, and they say she was with a younger woman during at least one of those fraudulent purchases. Tonight, newly released emails are providing details into President Trump's controversial decision to withhold defense funds to Ukraine. The issue led to the president's impeachment, something he's now using as a rallying cry. CBS's Chip Reed is with the president in Florida.
President Trump turned his impeachment into a political drumbeat Saturday night before an adoring crowd of students in West Palm Beach.
They had nothing. There's no crime. There's no nothing. How do you impeach? You had no crime.
The president has called for a full impeachment trial in the Senate with witnesses who he says will help exonerate him, including the whistleblower and former Vice President Joe Biden. Senate Democrats also want witnesses who they believe will help incriminate the president, such as acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney.
This email is explosive.
Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer highlighted a newly uncovered White House email asking the Defense Department to please hold off on military aid to Ukraine. The email came soon after the July 25th phone call in which President Trump asked Ukrainian President Zelensky to investigate Joe Biden.
A top administration official, one that we requested, is saying, stop the aid 91 minutes after Trump called Zelensky and said, keep it hush-hush. What more do you need to request a witness?
Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell has said he would prefer a short trial with no witnesses to keep the focus on the nation's business. But on CBS's Face the Nation, Republican Senator Roy Blunt suggested that could change.
And there may be a time when we decide that witnesses are essential.
The timing of a Senate impeachment trial is up in the air. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is refusing to send the articles of impeachment to the Senate until Senate Republicans tell her what the Senate trial is going to look like. Meanwhile, the president's former White House press secretary, Sarah Sanders, is considering a run for the governor of Arkansas. She said she's, quote, very seriously looking at a possible run to be the leader of her home state. Her announcement comes days after she apologized for her tweet that seemed to mock the stutter of Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden. 13 people were shot at a Chicago house party early this morning. Police say a dispute led to shots being fired inside the home. Someone then fired more shots outside at people trying to leave the house. The victims ranged in age from 16 to 48. 4 of them are in critical condition and 2 people are in custody.
We can't normalize this kind of behavior and tragedy in our city. But I think it's also important for me as the mayor to make sure that we're stating very clearly that this kind of violence is just simply not going to be tolerated in our city.
The party was in honor of the birthday of Linnell Irvin, who was shot and killed in an attempted carjacking last April. At least 51 people were taken to hospitals after a 69-car crash in York County, Virginia this morning. Virginia State Police said there was fog and ice on the roadway at the time of the crash. Officials say injuries range from minor to serious. At least 2 people were critically injured, but no injuries are considered life-threatening. In a press conference this afternoon, police say the pileup could have been worse. Local bakeries are working hard to fill orders before the holiday this week. Batch Bakehouse had a busy flow of customers all morning, picking up orders and treats. The bakery created a special holiday menu this year, featuring traditional items like Black Forest cake. Retail manager J.C. Haas says the weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas are the craziest time of year.
Obviously, it's stressful because it's just like we do it every year and we know it's coming, and it kind of is, you know, it's something hanging over our head. But when it actually happens and we pull it off every year, like, it's exciting. It's good teamwork.
Batch Bakehouse will be open tomorrow and on Christmas Eve. They will not accept new orders, but will have their normal selection of baked goods. Across the country, millions of Americans were busy shoppers this weekend. Experts estimate Americans spent more than $34 billion yesterday and today. That's $2.5 billion more than Black Friday shopping. The National Retail Federation predicts the average American will spend just over $1,000 this holiday season, the most money since they started keeping track. There's more on News 3 Now at 10. Dana's back with a mild Christmas forecast. Plus, it's the first night of Hanukkah, why the community is coming together to light the menorah.
Built for you.
For first, fast, accurate weather updates, watch First Alert Weather.
Hanukkah celebrations are underway around the world tonight. A lighting ceremony was held at the National Menorah in Washington, D.C. tonight. The annual lighting also includes live music and speakers to commemorate the first night of the holiday. But the lasting impact of recent violent hate crimes can sometimes leave people in silence. As people here in Madison celebrated the start of Hanukkah tonight, Emily Burdett was with those who were standing together to show that crime can't tear them apart.
Weeks after the fatal Jersey City deli shooting, the targeted and anti-Semitic hate crime has not been forgotten.
The anti-Semitic acts in our country have been terrible and scary, as have been all the acts against other religious and ethnic and racial groups in the United States.
Recent shootings in Pittsburgh, Poway, and Jersey City are giving people an even bigger reason to show their Jewish heritage. Tonight is the first night of Hanukkah, and people say they are celebrating more than they ever have before.
More people are coming out. People want to show solidarity. People want to show that we're not hiding.
In its largest turnout so far, hundreds gathered to watch the lighting of the menorah at Madison's Hilldale Shopping Center. Hanukkah is the celebration of light, which gives the Jewish people and their allies an even bigger reason to celebrate the hardships they have experienced.
The Jewish community in the United States is not going to cower in fear because of a handful of extremists and haters.
And now, with the support of community leaders,
I wish you a happy and meaningful Hanukkah.
Hanukkah is the triumph, and therefore we're not going to hide and so on. But especially what makes it different today than it's really been for much of Jewish history is that today we have the government behind us.
People feel more comfortable finding the peace and light that Hanukkah is all about.
There's a saying in Judaism that darkness is very weak, and all it takes is a little ray of light to dispel darkness completely. And that's our job here tonight with Hanukkah.
In Madison, Emily Burdett, News 3 Now.
The celebration of Hanukkah will last for 7 more nights until the 30th. There was no better way to get in the holiday spirit this morning than being out in the sun and golfing. Several local courses were open this weekend because of the mild temperatures. At the Oaks Golf Course in Cottage Grove, nearly 100 golfers joined in on the Ugly Sweater Golf Scramble. Organizers say it was their first year doing the event, and there were prizes for most jolly out on the links, which golfers say were a little more difficult than usual to compete on.
The greens are much firmer today than they would be in the middle of summer, so you're going to want to play a little differently. To say that you're going to get some bounce is an understatement. I've seen some balls probably fly 30 feet in the air after hitting the greens.
They planned on doing the competition around Halloween, but were snowed out, so when they saw the forecast for this weekend, they decided to give it another shot. Well, such a big difference between Halloween and Christmas Day. Now, it's kind of unbelievable.
A big swing, and there are people here that are golfers or frisbee golfers or runners that have been really excited with the weather, and then I've got other friends that are hoping to get the snowmobile out, and you've really got to travel far north to be able to enjoy that much snow right now. So you're either loving it or not loving it so much. And right now, I don't have good news for my snow-loving friends. We are expecting temperatures to stay pretty mild through the rest of the week. We do have one more sunny day. We'll see partly sunny skies for Monday, but then the clouds build on in. Those clouds, though, not bringing any precipitation. It's still going to stay dry outside. Looking at the impacts for any Mother Nature-related travel delays, this map kind of populates any opportunities for precipitation or wind or strong thunderstorms to cause delays. And as you can see throughout the Midwest, we're not expecting anything to build on in. For Monday morning, whether you're heading into work or traveling around for your Christmas, trying to get to someplace, Monday should be nice and clear. Tuesday also looks nice and clear in the roads and in the sky. Now, we do have some storm action off to the west, well off to the west, so it may be a bumpy ride if you're heading to the West Coast. But throughout the Midwest, if you're hopping in the car at all, things should stay pretty smooth. Overnight, we'll have a partly cloudy sky. Temperatures only dropping to the low 30s for our overnight lows. With this southwest breeze, it helps our temps climb yet again tomorrow. We won't be as close to record-breaking temperatures tomorrow afternoon, mid to upper 40s for our afternoon highs. Overnight, heading into Tuesday, the cloud coverage builds on in. We become mostly cloudy for Tuesday morning. So that cloud coverage only drops us to the mid-30s for overnight lows. And so to stop our afternoon highs, only landing in the mid-40s for our afternoon highs. Still well above average. We should be in the upper 20s for this time of year. Looking at our precipitation chances, it doesn't seem likely that we're going to pick up much looking at the end of December into New Year's Day, January 1st. Likely going to be hovering close to average, which lines up with our 10-day forecast. We really only have one opportunity for some light rain to develop looking through the next 10 days. Overnight, we drop to about 33, a partly cloudy sky tonight. Tomorrow afternoon, high temperatures will be in the upper 40s. Very mild outside. A degree or two cooler than today, but still not very December-like outside. The cloud coverage means Santa's going to need Rudolph, but we aren't expecting again any precipitation to come along with that cloud coverage for Tuesday and for Wednesday. Temperatures are going to stay in the 40s through Christmas. We'll get a little more sun back for Friday with variably sunny skies. Temperatures in the 40s still, though, and those overnight lows aren't going to drop below freezing through the weekend or into the weekend. So it's a nice little thaw also if you're trying to get some outdoor stuff done. Saturday will be our next chance for rain. Temperatures right now look to be in the low 40s, so it is just a light rain threat, and even then not a lot of accumulation coming on through. And then we're dry heading into New Year's Eve.
You just really got to go out with all out with the decorations inside so that you ignore that there's no snow outside. You know, you have the tree and all that.
Just pretend, yeah. It's Wisconsin's winter, Wisconsin Christmas if you're inside, yes.
Yeah, all right, it works. Thank you so much, Dana. There's a growing trend around the country during bowl season, but the Badgers aren't partaking in it. That story coming up next in sports.
Well, quick injury update ahead of tomorrow night's Monday Night Football game in Minnesota. Everyone that was on the list earlier in the week now is good to go, except for Dean Lowry and Jimmy Graham. Both of them will likely be game time decisions tomorrow night. And on the Vikings side, this is a big one. Running back Dalvin Cook will not be playing after he didn't practice at all during the week. Now, Cook hurt his left shoulder in the game against the Chargers, and at that time he was already playing with another injury in his chest. And now on top of that, their backup running back Alexander Madison is currently listed as questionable. So the backfield probably won't be the strongest point for the Vikings tomorrow, but that doesn't really change anything for the prep on the Packers defense.
I don't think it changes at all. I feel like, the whole thing about us, we just have to control our gaps up front just to stop the run game. It doesn't matter who's back there, but if we can stop that run game, man, we can have some fun, man, and get after this quarterback.
And it's kind of tough. We can't control what's going on over there. We can only control what's going on over here. That's unfortunate for them. They're going to stick to their game plan. They're not going to change much up, and they're going to beat the Minnesota Vikings when we come into their house.
Now, it kind of feels like forever ago when the Packers and Vikings played each other at the beginning of the season at Lambeau because, well, it was week 2 after all. Green Bay won that game, and Kirk Cousins didn't play his best. He was sacked once by Kenny Clark and threw more interceptions than he did touchdowns. So what is he expecting tomorrow night?
We don't know how a team will defend us going into a game. You have an idea, but then you have to go play the game and get a feel for it and then have that answer. And, I think each week we don't know, and we have to react accordingly, but we'll see what the Packers have for us come Monday night.
So as of this weekend, 16 college football players across the country have elected to skip their respective bowl games in order to get ready for the NFL draft. Now, tell me if you're surprised by this one. None of those 16 are Badgers. We talked to a lot of them earlier this week about the tradition of playing in bowl games here in Wisconsin, let alone, of course, the Rose Bowl. And Chris Orr said it has a lot to do with the culture around here.
I think it says a lot about their character, first and foremost. Second, I think it says a lot that they love football, and collectively as a program as well, we love football here. And when you love football, you don't just skip out on your last game with your team. I'm not saying people don't. I definitely understand the decision. Wouldn't be mad at somebody if they did, but we truly love each other, and nobody wants to leave anybody behind.
And Malcolm Brogdon making his return to Milwaukee tonight. Pacers at Bucks. Brogdon with 10 points, 10 rebounds. Giannis just shy of a triple-double. But how about Wesley Matthews, the former Memorial standout, leading the Bucks with 19 points. Bucks win 117-89. They're starting that streak again of winning because their 18-game winning streak was broken up by the Mavericks. I know. And so now they won 3 in a row. So let's start another
over
streak.
Again.
Exactly.
Starting it all over again.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll be right back. This holiday season, Madison police aren't just getting in the Christmas spirit, they're spreading love and inclusivity. MPD shared photos on Facebook this afternoon showing off its pride-themed rainbow Christmas tree. It's decked out in ornaments and sitting inside the station. The post said, "Happy holidays from MPD Pride." It doesn't quite feel like Christmas. I mean, we keep saying that. It's going to be Christmas, but it doesn't feel like it.
We're just a few days away, lots of decorations out. Of course, everyone's been shopping, but yeah, it really does feel like we've kind of backed up a few months as far as our temperatures. For the next few days, we're going to stay well above average. Of course, today, near record breaking. We hit a high 53. Tomorrow, we'll back up just a few degrees. High temperatures will be in the upper 40s. For Christmas Eve, cloud coverage builds on in, though we're expected to stay nice and dry for Tuesday and Wednesday. Mid to upper 40s for afternoon highs through the middle of the week. Our next chance for some light rain will start to develop Friday night. We may see some snowflakes early in the rain, but then temperatures climb right above freezing during the day on Saturday. So it is just rain that'll be sliding on through. And then heading into next week, of course, New Year's Eve right around the corner, and does look dry for any New Year's Eve plans.
Wow, all right. Snow next year, I guess.
Yes.
Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night.
Now.